So years ago, I was working in people's homes. You know, obviously the master bathrooms were where all the money was really at, because that's where people would spend their money. The bathrooms are really nice and large, and soaking tubs and all of that. And master bathrooms, I mean, nowadays they're kind of being put on the first floor, but 90s, 2000s, 2010, anything built in that era, it was always the second floor, sometimes even the third floor. And it was always a really time-consuming thing to run up and down the steps to be able to get some of this tile work done. And I was using the grinder in most of these situations, just a regular hand grinder, to cut some of to touch up some of the tile. And the dust would just absolutely go everywhere. And that would be one of my biggest complaints that I ever got from clients, is that you just make an absolute mess and it's really, really dusty. So I was looking for a solution, and I found that Fein makes a dust extractor and a grinder, and it also has a dust shield that I can put over it. So this has really transformed my business, because I was able to do a lot of the touch-up cuts in the bathroom, and I was getting a lot less complaints. And also it was better for me too, because now I'm not inhaling as much of this ceramic tile dust. So for the last, I'd say 7 or 8 years, I've been using this type of system, and it's been absolutely tremendous. So we're gonna put a new one together just to show you all the components, and then we'll demonstrate this as well. But this is definitely something, if you're a contractor working in people's homes, this is gonna save you a lot of heartache and headache from the client being upset about all the dust. When I used to go through like a shop vac every 6 months, probably, because a traditional shop vac, the filters would clog up, the motors would bog down. A lot of it has to do with me not maintaining it and cleaning it, but I'm doing bathrooms and I'm just running from one job to the next. And I just didn't take the time to do a lot of that. So I was buying a shop vac every 6 months or so. And one thing I found too is, like, a regular shop vac with fine dust, like the drywall dust or ceramic tile dust, it doesn't do very well, and it ends up blowing out the back end of the shop vac and getting everywhere anyways. So a dust extractor, so for the very least, if you want a good shop vac that's gonna clean up fine dust, get a fine shop vac. That alone was amazing to me, because I've had one for, 8, 9 years, and it's just like the best shop vac I ever had. And I've been able to just abuse it and use it every single day, and it would just always work. So very, very dependable. Compared to a traditional shop vac, it's just so much better. So this is the big key right here. It has a little plug-in port here, and then when you switch this over to the plug, when you go to use the tool, it turns the shop vac on. Very simple concept, but it's also great because you're able to adjust the amount of extraction. I always have it on the max when I'm using it for my grinders. But if you were using like a drywall sander, sometimes a drywall sander, the sandpaper will kind of suction itself, and you might want to turn it down to be able to, not have such a force on it. But this is a very powerful, shop vac, dust extractor. It definitely, it's pretty impressive how well it works. And really, it's just like a normal one. You just have a little case in here. But this is like the big difference is the HEPA filter. So these filters, it looks like kind of like a car filter. But these definitely do a lot better than any of those cylinder type of vacuums. And I would be remodeling whole homes, so I would be like using this thing to just absolutely clean up the biggest messes ever. And so it's really impressive how well it works and how long it holds up. So yeah, it's just like a regular house vacuum here. It really does work really well. So then tuck pointer has a variety of different colors. So it depends on what you're actually connecting to. This one will go to the Milwaukee Flex, Bosch, DeWalt, and then the Hitachi will do the Fein and the Hitachi one. So this is a Fein WSG7 paddle switch. Definitely recommend using the paddle switch. And essentially what we need to do here is change out this mechanism. This is the part that's going to attach the tuck pointer dust extractor to the grinder. So this one's for a Milwaukee, Makita, and Bosch. So we're not going to be using this one. We need to take this one off. Attach this one to it. Okay. So then this guy will slide onto this. I'm going to tighten it onto the housing here. Okay, make sure that's on there. You can just pull this up. So this is the back part of this. Now, your blade is going to be going up. So you have to have a little spacer here to space this out to fit. Up indicator. You can simply just connect that to here. Switch to plug. Sweet. I should mention, this is a DNA blade. So this is made by Montolit. Really highly recommend these. These are one of my favorite types of blades for porcelain, your like everyday type of tile. You can actually see the grinder. I've had so much thinset caked on this because I'm always just grabbing the tile and cutting it. But you know, the one thing about this is it's you know, you wouldn't want to be doing the most accurate cut that you need. Like if you were doing like something really intricate, it's still really tough because you can't see the blade all that well. But you know, just for like scribe cutting, just additional little touch-ups, especially for a floor or something like that, it definitely will save you time not having to run down those steps. So here's the old one. So you could tell, I mean, I've put a lot of miles on this thing. This is actually a Makita, but same, you know, same size, same setup.
You're showing it its future.
Yeah, I am showing it.